Hello and welcome to the world's RV show going on at Motorhome Specialist, the #1 volume selling dealership in the world. My name's Donnie O'Banion and today I'm being joined by Art Rivard, the regional sales manager of the Class A and Class C divisions of Thor Motorcoach. And today Art's going to be taking us for a tour of one of the most popular makes and models sold here at Motorhome Specialist, the Thor Motorcoach 37 GT Challenger. Art, thanks so much for coming and spending some time with us today.
Thanks, Donnie. I really, I love coming down here because, it means a lot to us to be a partner with you and, with Thor Motorcoach and Motorhome Specialist, and getting the opportunity to actually show people some of the things that they don't see. I mean, that's one thing I really stress to not only my sales reps, but to your people, to salespeople all over the country is, people are buying a house. You need to talk to them. You need to show them the things that we do differently more than a lot of other manufacturers.
Right.
How we mount the chassis, how the house, is mounted differently, how the things we do in the sidewalls that are different. People are buying a house, and a lot of times they go to an RV dealership, they go to especially an RV show, the slides are all out, there's dishes and everything, plants and books and everything is pretty, and people get caught up in the hype and they end up making a decision, and then after they get the coach 30 days down the road, they realize there's more to it than just the pretty.
Right.
Sometimes that lipstick and earrings is not all it's cracked up to be. They look good, but the structure of the house is not there, and that's one thing that we strive at Thor, is we are the #1 manufacturer in the industry, but there's reasons that we are, and people need to understand that and know that when they're making a buying decision, not just how pretty the coach looks. So
absolutely.
This is the new 2014 and a half Challenger, which is, the Challenger is the flagship of all of the Thor gas class motorhomes. This is the top of our line. This is actually manufactured in our diesel plant. I mean, the people that build our diesel pushers also build it. So the mentality, the training, everything that is done, it's the closest thing you're going to get to a diesel pusher, but on the 22,000-pound Ford chassis. This is powered by the Ford V10, got exceptional torque, exceptional horsepower. The biggest thing I stress to people is it rides on the 22.5 tires. Just in the past couple weeks, I've been fortunate enough to put over 4,000 miles on a motorhome, traveling around about 5 or 6 states. And going from a 19.5 tire to a 22.5 makes all the difference in the world. It's just the way the coach handles. I mean, you don't have to worry about going by semis or them passing you. It tracks unbelievably. It's just a great driving coach.
Does add a lot of stability.
Yes, sir, definitely. One of the biggest things I talk about, not only with the Challenger, but all of our gas Class A's, is how we build our coaches. It's the house itself, it's the structure of the unit that I feel we do better than anybody else in the industry. How we mount our walls outside the floor instead of on top, which a lot of them do. Along our belt line here, we put 3-inch lag bolts about every 6 to 8 inches to lock that wall and floor together. So these things twist and torque a lot when you're going down the road.
Right.
To keep that solid, tight, and secure. And then we cap that box off with our vacuum bond roof structure, but it gives it a tight fit. This is where you live in, this is where you're traveling in. And the tighter that box is, the less road noise, the less wind noise, leaks, things like that take place in there. So one of the main things we do too is before the chassis come to us over at Thor, we actually send them over to Moride Industries there in Elkhart. Moride builds our entire basement structures for us. Everything is spot on. I mean, from the front of the coach to the back and quarter to quarter, we're less than an 1/8 inch off, which is unbelievable in a structure when you build a coach this size.
Right.
Then when they mount that structure to the chassis, we have what we call neoprene isolators that go between the house and the chassis itself. This is a noise and vibration dampener. When you're traveling down the road, the big Ford frame rails, about 90% of the road noise and vibration that come up into your house is transferred through the frame rails of the chassis. With the neoprene isolators, we've eliminated probably 95% or better of that. One thing that we do on the Challenger itself, we go our stair step up in our Class A's. Some we use 7-inch truss systems on. On the Challenger, we use a 13-inch truss. So that gives us full basement storage, just like you would find in a diesel pusher. The 13-inch truss system gives you full pass-through storage from one side to the other. All the compartments are lighted. You'll also notice that we use what we call Rotocast compartments. Rotocast is kind of a fiberglass plastic resin that is structured into a one-piece compartment. It's built and formed into one piece. So there's no seams in the compartment. Each compartment either has a weep hole, or like this case, it actually has a drain plug. So you can hose them out, and you've got one-way drainage to the outside, but it's also sealed off so you don't get any road noise or road water or dust and anything from the outside coming back in.
It's got to be much lighter weight, much quieter than
the steel. It's definitely a lot of coaches. You'll use a tin or a metal, some even as far as a wood compartment. Cover them up with carpeting, but they rust. They just delaminate after a while. Rotocast is the way to go. It's injection molded. It's one piece. It's light. It also runs an R factor of about an R4, which is not a lot, but you get basically R0 with tin or metal or wood. So if you are in cold climates, your whole basement structure is carrying about an R4 factor, which is going to help keep the subfloor of the motorhome a lot warmer too in cold climates.
And to reiterate the truss system, you said the Challenger is
a 13-inch trussed 14-gauge steel.
So that's where you get a lot of additional pass-through storage.
Yes, sir. That's exactly where it comes from.
And is the Miramar going to have a 13-inch truss system?
Yes. In our progression up, we have the Wind Sport and the Hurricane that used a 7-inch truss system. It's what we call a semi-basement. The Miramar and the Challenger are virtually built on the same structure.
Okay.
22,000-pound chassis, 22.5 tires and rims, 13-inch truss system with full pass-through storage.
Okay.
Same basic type of exterior out here. As you see, we have 1-inch baggage doors that are all black foam filled for insulation. We use a automotive bulb seal around all of our compartments so that when they are locked up, you don't get any dust or moisture inside the basement itself. We put gas struts on all of our doors, opposed to a lot of the competitors that use maybe a strap or something that they put in there.
Right.
This keeps it locked tight and secure. We use slam latches on all of our doors. I mean, it's solid.
Absolutely.
You open and close this thing, it's unbelievable. The compartments are also all bolted to our steel subfloor underneath. And they're not just hung from a piece of wood down there. They're actually bolted into our 1.5-inch steel floor that we use throughout the structure of the coach.
And y'all's original layer of decking that's underneath here is actually a rolled aluminum, is it not?
Yes, sir. Definitely is.
So that's something else that's really impressive. I know it's important for people not only when they're traveling or when they're out using the coach, but even in storage. When you go to put the thing up, at a lot of parks, campgrounds, but also, like I said, especially storage facilities and things like that, it can be rodents, ants and things like that. And the rest of them that are wood, they can eat through it. Absolutely, exactly. They can gnaw through it,
and then get up into the interior of the coach and get into the wiring and things where you can really have some major issues at that
Absolutely,
point.
We've had the coaches like that before ourselves. So,
and I don't know how much the camera can pick up, but when people come out, please, we all try to get them down, look inside here, how everything is neat and clean, everything is tucked away. There's no wiring harnesses, no slide mechanisms, taking up any of your storage space down below. Just got a tremendous amount of basement storage.
Very well done.
This particular model also has the exterior television. So when you're out here with your patio awning out, you got a great place to come out and watch a sporting event. Just do whatever when you're out here enjoying yourself in the afternoon or in the evening. Come out in the morning with your cup of coffee to watch the news if somebody's still sleeping on the inside. It's just a great feature to have on a motorhome. And
y'all are using name brand electronics and appliances. You notice once we get inside, of course, talk more about it. But y'all are spending the extra money to put the name brand appliances and electronics in the coach.
Exactly. Again, you got a big pass-through compartment here on this side. Just a ton of storage for a gas motorhome. In its class, it has more exterior storage than any other Class A in the industry.
That really is impressive.
On this side here, you've got two 110 outlets out here, so if you do come out here, if your guy wants to do anything, maybe power tools, basically anything out here, you've got except power out to the outside here. We have upgraded now on the 2014.5 to 100-gallon freshwater tank, which is usually normally unheard of in a gas motorhome. When you step up to the diesels, you usually step up to the 100-gallon. And a couple things on our water tanks itself. First, if you'll see here, we do all of our probing on all of our tanks, fresh, gray, and black on the exterior of the tank. So if they ever need to be serviced, if they ever need to be cleaned, they're very easy and accessible, to opposed to putting them on the inside, which a lot of people do. They get built up in there with debris on them. You just have really no way to take care of them or maintain them.
Right.
Also, with taking off this bracket right here, this entire tank will slide right out should you ever need to service it. And right up above this runs the length of the motorhome. On top of this, that's your black tank. So for weight distribution in the coach, when your tanks are half or 3/4 or getting close to full, you're not back and forth from one side to the other. They run the length of the coach itself. And for servicing, a lot of your motorhomes, if you have a water tank problem or a black tank problem, there's really no way to get it out without going inside the motorhome and tearing up the floor.
Right.
All of these tanks will slide out, and then the black tank comes right out along that way. So if it ever should come up where there is an issue, things happen. We're not stupid. I mean, we build one of the best RVs in the industry, but if there is a need for service, we try to make it as most convenient as we possibly can. So
absolutely. And the fact that it goes all the way across the coach, the weight distribution is a big deal.
Yes, it definitely is.
Y'all's engineers do an exceptional job. They're putting these coaches together.
A ton of more additional storage here.
Real quickly about the gray and the black water tanks. How are these heated in the Challenger?
They're actually in the Challenger and the Miramar are going to be heated by the furnace itself. These compartments where the tanks are is got forced air to it from your furnace, not a wrap system with a blanket or 12-volt heating pad per se and something like that. So if you've got the furnace on up here, you're okay to go down here. It'll keep everything maintained.
Awesome.
But you can see the additional storage here. And like I say, as you look down the side of the motorhome for a gas coach, I say it's the closest thing to a diesel pusher you're going to find. And that's why, again, this is the flagship of all of our motorhomes. And we do such a tremendous job with it.
That really is an unbelievable amount of storage in a Class A motorhome.
Definitely solid. This is the new rear fiberglass cap. I mean, we have front and back fiberglass caps on all of our Challengers, opposed to having a 2- or a 3-piece cap. So you literally have no seams other than around the exterior of the cap itself. We have, of course, the ladder to get up on the roof for maintenance and just for viewing up there. We'll talk about it a little bit more on the inside, but we have steel backing plates where everything is bolted in there, so it's solid and secure. It's got all the coaches have a 5,000-pound receiver hitch, and we also wire it with a 7-way round plug. And it's wired up to the driving compartment for the brake controller. So if you're going to be towing your vehicle, you don't have to put any additional wiring on.
All right.
The newer ones now, we've moved, as we're doing with all of our coaches, your fuel fill to the rear cap.
I like that a lot.
You bet. I'll tell you, that last couple weeks of 4,000 miles of driving, it's so nice when you pull into a station, especially some of the smaller ones. You don't have to worry about what side of the pump you pull on.
Right.
As you pull up, you can watch your rear vision camera. You see exactly where the pump is. You see exactly where the back of the coach is, and it's automatic. You're just right there.
Really nice feature benefit.
We put an LED brake light here, and we raise it up quite a bit higher. So if you do have a tow vehicle and there's somebody coming from behind you, when you step on the brakes, it lights that up, actually above usually the top of the tow vehicle, so you have very good visibility. We've got added docking lights to the back of the coach now at nighttime to backing into some areas that are not real well lit. Our rear camera itself has LED lighting, as do the side vision cameras now. So with the LED lighting, it's daytime all the time. So even at nighttime, if you're backing into a tight spot back here, it's lit up even without the docking lights on it.
And at that point, you can utilize them as security cameras.
Exactly. And I always mention, especially to the ladies, if you're back here helping your husband into a tight spot, we have one-way voice communication. So if he's in the driving compartment and she's back here helping him into a tight area, no more hand signals, no more walkie-talkies.
Right.
Just standing here talking like this, he can hear it through the speaker system up in the cab area. And I always add it just a little bit for the ladies that for once, It's one-way communication. You can say anything you want to him. He cannot talk back to you at this point. So I always throw that in there. As far as our ladder itself, this is, got multiple uses. First of all, we want you to get up on the roof structure a couple times a year, not only maybe to wash it, but also to check the silicone around your air conditioners, vents, and things like that.
Right.
We do use a one-piece, what we call thermal polyolefin roof cover. It's called TPO. It's the best as far as we're concerned in the industry. We are #1, and we use it across the board. It's flexible material. It's virtually maintenance-free. There's no chemicals or anything you need to treat it with. Very pliable, and it moves with the structure of the coach, opposed to a harder roof structure which does not. And then you tend up having things break apart and pull apart up there. And it has a 12-year manufacturer's warranty on it, which is unheard of in the industry.
That's the industry leading.
Yeah. The roof structure itself, we use a 16-inch on-center rafter system from front to back. We have a true walk-on roof. A lot of manufacturers use 4 trusses in their roof, and it's usually 2 on either side of the air conditioner. They call them walk-on roofs, but in your paperwork and your owner's manual, it'll tell you, well, when you get up there to check things, try to stay along the sides because you got more structure where the wall and the roof get together.
Right.
This, you don't have to. I mean, with today's things the way they are with sporting events, with NASCAR, especially here in Texas with football, if folks got kids or grandkids, they can take, you can go up there with your lawn chairs and your cooler, and you can enjoy your outside events without worrying about falling through into the interior of the coach. So a full walk-on roof is very important to us. As you come around this side, Donnie, we've got a tremendous amount of storage over here. This compartment, again, goes all the way through the other side. As you will see, this houses your 50-amp power cord.
Okay.
We also use an auto transfer switch. A lot of your motorhomes, when you're not plugged into an outside source, you have to plug the cord back into the house, which is very inconvenient. So an auto transfer switch, which is standard on the coach, automatically when you start the generator, you don't have to worry about coming back and plugging something else in. So we also have your Atwood water heater. It's what we call a 6-gallon quick recovery.
Okay.
A lot of people talk about 8 gallons and 10 gallons of tanks, but the smaller the tank and the faster the recovery is going to give you more hot water over a period of time. This water heater will give you close to 18 gallons an hour. As it starts to use it up, it automatically refills, and it's just going to continually give you a lot of hot water for a good long hot shower. Your LP tank is located right up in here. Again.
And these units now, which of course we're going to talk about more inside, but a lot of your models now starting to offer the residential refrigerators, including the 37 GT, correct?
Exactly. Matter of fact, from this point on, all of the Challengers will have residential refrigerators, as will all of the Miramars.
Excellent.
And it automatically comes with an 1800-watt inverter. So, I mean, as far as your LP itself, there's tremendous savings. You've got your water heater, which again is gas or electric. You can start it up on gas to get it real hot fast and then switch it to electric. But as far as LP, your furnace and your stove are really about the only things you're going to need it for anymore. Your termination center here, we try to make it very neat, clean. We try to label everything accordingly instead of just opening up this black compartment and trying to figure out what everything is like you do see in a lot of them.
You're right.
Again,
absolutely.
We've got a 100-gallon freshwater tank. We do have a full house water filtration system, so no matter what park you're at, what type of water they have in that area, everything coming in, be it the bathroom, wherever, is being filtered through the filtration system. That's a big plus. You got your black tank flushes here, all of your water connections, your low point drains, everything is right here and located, very easy to get at. You have an outside shower here with hot and cold running water for not only cleaning up this bay area, but if guys that fish, if they want to come out here and clean fish, wash the dog, rinse off the kids at the beach, whatever. You've got an outside source here of taking care of them before they go back inside the house.
Very nice.
You'll also notice that we put not only the furnace, but the hot water heater over on this side of the motorhome, away from your patio area. So if you are running these things, you got hot exhaust here, you get hot things. If they're, it's not in your patio area where you're going to be out there entertaining. It's away from the entertainment side of the coach itself. So we come down the side here, there's again another huge Rotocast compartment, pass-through storage that goes all the way through to the other side. Also notice on the 2014 and a half, so we've gone to frameless windows on our Challengers now.
Right.
It gives it a lot nicer appearance. The thing I really like about them is that they're all jealousy style windows now. All of the windows now crank out for great ventilation, opposed to the sliding windows, which 99% of your motorhomes have on them. So if it's raining, you really have an issue. Not a problem here. If it's raining outside, you just crank them open to get some good cross ventilation through the motorhome.
What a great feature.
And as you do here, I mean, they come standard, or as you do on your Challengers, I mean, you put dual panes, so they're dual pane frameless windows on all of your coaches.
So the changes that were made in the 14 and a half model include the frameless windows.
Frameless windows, new front and back fiberglass caps, 100-gallon freshwater tank, the gas fill moved to the rear of the coach. There's about 25 different items. Most of them are smaller ones, but that's some of the major items that we've taken in.
All right.
Your power plant here, we use nothing but Onan. It's a 5,500 watt. It's what they call the quiet one. So there's very little noise or vibration. It's actually mounted on separate brackets opposed to mounting it to the floor, which a lot of people do. So any type of vibration is not going into the structure of the floor, which will be transferred into the house itself.
Gotcha.
Also completely away. I mean, a lot of people, again, they don't think about these things, but a lot of manufacturers will put the generator underneath the bed or towards the rear of the coach.
Right.
It's completely away from the bedroom area, so any noise and vibration that you are going to get if you happen to be dry camping and running it at nighttime is completely away from the bed area. And people need to look at where their exhaust. It's amazing how many motorhomes have the generator exhausted over to the patio side of the motorhome, or even the generator on that side.
You're right.
So in your patio area, if you're out there entertaining, the noise, exhaust, everything is completely away from the patio side of your coach. Again, a lot of little things like that, but it's the little things that all add up together when people are looking for an RV.
No question.
Again, just more pass-through storage compartments. Again, they're all lighted compartments. They all go all the way through to the other side. Front compartment here, this houses your hydraulic pump for your leveling system and your 2 house batteries here. They're not on a slide tray. They don't need to be. They're very easy to get at, very easy to maintain. We have our power heated mirrors. The side vision cameras are actually mounted into the mirrors now, opposed to down here on the side. They're taller, so it gives you a better scan. These not only work off your turn signals, but you can actually manually reach up if you're going to be switching lanes, or if you just want to check and see if there's anybody, you know, next to you.
Sure.
All you got to do is hit the button and it shows up right there on the camera in front of you.
Really nice. And you've gone to the chrome mirrors instead of the painted.
Exactly.
Got a really nice look.
Yep. It really sets it off between the chrome on the mirrors and then the chrome we've decorated around the front. This new front cap is awesome.
Just a massive front cap.
It is. I mean, we've gone with very, very, I think, like diesel style type of headlight system on it.
Exactly what I was going to say. I mean, it has a
really
diesel pusher look to it.
LED lighting, which absolutely looks awesome at nighttime. One-piece windshield, so you don't have a center support, so you have an unobstructed view. You'll also notice we try on almost every one of our Class A's, we cut our windshield down about 6 inches lower than what most manufacturers do. It's not a big factor, but again, it's one of those things. By cutting it down here, opposed to having the fiberglass up where the wipers are on most of the competitors, when you're sitting in the pilot and co-pilot seat, you can see about 8 feet closer to the front of your coach than what you can. So it is a safety factor as far as I'm concerned.
That's a big deal.
As we talked about, with the chrome mirrors, this is all full body paint on our coaches. All of the Challengers come standard with full body paint.
Okay.
One thing I like about it, we use Sickens paint on our coaches, and if people are not familiar with that, it's the same paint that they use for high dollar automobiles, high dollar yachts. Sickens paint never cures. One of the biggest issues with a full body paint motorhome, and if folks go out and look at some pre-owned, the cheaper paint dries over a period of time, and these coaches twist and move a lot, and what happens when the paint dries, then you start getting spider cracking along the sides. Sickens paint never cures, so it always stays flexible for the life of the motorhome, so you're never going to have that issue with it as far as spider cracking.
It really is just an awesome new look for the 14.5 model coach.
It is. I really love the changes they've made. They've been working on them for a long time, and as we do it, I mean, we test them. They build a couple coaches. They send us guys out in them.
Right.
We don't just build them and sell them. You know, we go out. That last 4,000-mile trip I came off from, I had a list this long of things that, you know what, it's good, but it could be like this and be just that little bit better. So before
Absolutely.
we go into production for retail coaches, they goes back to the engineering department. They go through all of these lists that we all send in, and they make changes, and that's one of the things that make us number one.
You can definitely see it in the final product. Well, you know, speaking of changes, how about we take a look at the inside? I know everybody would love to see the new 37 GT floor plan.
We can do that. Before we do, I wanted to point out one thing here now that we've got the slide outs out.
Sure.
Because again, a lot of our consumers, our prospects, don't understand slide rooms, and a lot of them are scared to death. They've talked to people in the past that have had slides that didn't operate properly. They couldn't get them in. They couldn't get them out. They had issues with them. The last couple of years, we've switched over our entire fleet to what we call a Schwinn-Tech slide system. It is the most innovative slide mechanism in the industry. As you'll see here on the sides of the slide, there's rails, both top and bottom, on both sides of the slide room.
Right.
It's actually a 4-point system, so when you hit the button to activate the slide, it comes in and out at 4 points, opposed to a center ram, which a lot of manufacturers still use. The ram normally gets it in and out, but these slides, especially as they get a little bit bigger, they tend to get off balance a little bit, not only this way, but this way. And if this thing is a 1/16 of an inch off when it goes in, without being adjusted constantly, it can actually tear off the molding or even the side, you know, the side of the wall on the inside. So the 4-point system has virtually eliminated that. We've changed our entire fleet of slide rooms over to the Schwinn-Tech system.
You know, a much smaller thing, but still very important here in Texas, something that y'all do that is really not common in the industry, is that y'all's gasket seals are actually slid inside of a track.
Right.
To where they can't pull out. Absolutely.
Right.
You know, 107, 108 degrees here for months at a time. You know, a lot of our pre-owned units and a lot of, you know, competitors' models, you know, we go to put the slides out, the gaskets will literally just come off the coach.
Yep.
Constantly having to re-glue them. This is such a cleaner, better system. I mean, it's just tried and true. I mean, they're not ever going to come off.
To my knowledge, we are the only ones in the industry that do this track system, as far as I know at this point. But you're right.
So worth its weight in gold.
I spent, you know, 30 years in Arizona, and I know exactly what you're talking about. 110-degree weather, and you put the slide out, the gasket comes right off with it.
Can't keep
They're
them
hanging down. You have to re-glue them on constantly.
Absolutely.
So.
It's just a mess.
Yep.
Now, this is just so very well done.
Good. Yeah, let's go inside.
Sounds great. This is such a cool floor plan.
Yeah, we developed this about a little over a year ago, and this floor plan came from one of our big fifth wheels. As you know, besides Motorhomes, we're one of the largest towable manufacturers in the industry, and one of our biggest 40-foot fifth wheels had this island kitchen. And when they came to us, they said, you know, what do you guys want? And we said, we want that fifth wheel with a motor. And this is what they've come up with, the 37 GT, and it's just been a tremendous success for it.
It really has.
You know, very wide open. You got a huge sofa bed here with a airbed mattress sleeping over on this side. This is actually a built-in recliner over here, so at nighttime, when you're sitting back watching television, you just kick that up, just like being at home.
Really nice.
Huge 40-inch TV that actually recesses down into the countertop when you're not using it. So you got a nice flat surface up in there. You know, most of the time it's a two-person coach, but we do accommodate if you have more people. There's actually 2 folding chairs back under the bed that look exactly like this that collapse down. And then for extra dining, there's also a that goes back in here. So you can stretch it out, but when it's just the two of you, you know, it just opens up the floor plan so much more.
It really does. Really does.
We're putting the inside table between the pilot, co-pilot seats and all of our Class A's now. So again, if you do have it, yep, every coach.
All right.
From the Wind Sport on up, Hurricane, the new Miramar, So if you do have additional guests in, you can actually sit over here, or if it's just you and her at nighttime, you want to sit down and play a game of cards or watch television, have a cup of coffee, a cocktail, whatever. It's really
such a great
awesome
use
to
of
have.
space. I'm surprised nobody else is doing it.
I'm not. But that's why I work for Thor.
There you go.
We do a lot of things that other people don't. As you can see, we've completely taken out the carpeting now, all the way up to the front, even into the driving compartment areas.
Absolutely.
Just, straight linoleum from front to back. We also do wrap the entire coach. So it's not just up to the counters, it's not just up to the bed in the back. Before anything is put in, the entire floor is wrapped with vinyl. So it's very good, for security, for spills and things like that.
Sure.
You're not going to get the edges peeling up. Underneath that is our subfloor. Again, we use an 1.5 inch steel floor. The top part of that's your Weyerhaeuser board. And one thing that we do, which a lot of manufacturers don't, we use 24-foot sections of Weyerhaeuser, 8 by 24. Most manufacturers will use an 8 by 8 or an 8 by 10.
Right.
Which in a 37-foot coach is going to give you about 3 or sometimes 4 seams. And every place there's a seam, there's a possibility of that joint not staying right together, or creaking and things like that. So
over time it will.
Every one of our coaches from front 24 feet back, which usually puts us into the bathroom area, somewhere in that range. You're one solid floor from front to back as far as that part of it.
Very nice.
Again, we talked about the windows on the outside as far as these new frameless windows being the gelatine style. So everything cranks out now.
Oh, that's great.
Opposed to slides. So again, in that rainy weather, you can crank them open on both sides, get good cross ventilation in the coach, and not have to worry about opening up any vents or anything like that. So
really nice benefit. And then you've got the solar screens and the pull down night shades now.
You got
so much better than the old accordion style.
Right, exactly. So you got both of them, so you can shade yourself during the daytime, and then you got your privacy curtain at nighttime.
And those solar screens just help keep the coach so much cooler in the summertime. And what I really like about them is it gives you a different level of privacy, because you can still see out, but it's very, very hard to see in.
Right, exactly.
With the solar shades pulled down. So in the daytime you can still have privacy inside your coach without just feeling like you just shut the walls down.
Yep, exactly. As far as our furniture itself, we use all Villa furniture, which is high-line furniture you'll find in most of your diesel pushers.
Right.
The front seats now are flex steel seats. They recline. They have lifetime warranties on the mechanisms themselves. So I mean, the combination of the two, it's the best two furniture manufacturers you can find for a recreational.
Villa leather's much more expensive.
Exactly.
Than the norm.
As far as the coach itself, like we talked a little bit out there, it's the things that you cannot see. Just to point out a couple that we do, so that when people are out there looking for their RV, don't look at just the decor. Don't look at just the lipstick and the earrings. Dig deep into, you're buying a house. It's no different than going out to the local neighborhood and buying a house. You're going to research that house. You're going to research who the builder was. What did they do for insulation factors, for structure and things like that. So it does make a big difference on who builds your motorhome. Everything is great as far as we got solid wood cabinet doors. We use solid wood drawer fronts. A couple of the things that you can't see, such as around the openings. Any opening in the coach, whether it be the windows, the doors, the vents, we double reinforce with aluminum. Most everybody reinforces, but a lot of them reinforce with wood around in there. First of all, with aluminum, you've got a better place where you can screw your window frames into, and you get a lot tighter seal. Plus, aluminum does not absorb moisture where the wood does. So if you look out at a lot of pre-owned coaches and you go to the outside, you see delamination or blistering or peeling.
Sure.
It's usually along the base of the windows because water has set in there, and it soaks that wood, and then it starts working on your lamination, and it starts to break it apart.
Right.
As far as the lamination process, we have all state-of-the-art machinery, the best you can buy, but we do go a step farther. Our lamination process, when we laminate our walls and our roof structure, we actually add steel plates any place that anything's going to be screwed in, whether it be the lambrequins and the valances, the door handle, especially the cabinetry. The cabinetry is the heaviest part of your coach.
Right.
We actually laminate a piece of steel in behind where anything is screwed in, especially the cabinetry. I mean, it's a very expensive process, but it's something that we do because it makes the coach quieter and last longer. What I used to do, and I try to train some of your salespeople to do, when you walk into the coach after you've talked about this, because there's a piece of steel that goes all the way around where all of these cabinets are screwed in. And when I was younger and in better shape, I would come in here and I would grab onto this and I would hang there. We're talking about something you can't see. I see it at the plant. I see it being laminated into the walls every day. We went out a few years ago and we bought magnetic name tags for probably 700 salespeople. Not because we cared what their name was, but I wanted every salesperson to have a magnet with them, so that when they're talking to Mr. and Mrs. Jones about this, you can show them, if you go around the edges of the coach where things are screwed in, you can take that magnet and stick it to that piece of wood right there.
Wow.
To show them that there's a piece of steel inside that wall. I've done it at several shows where I've given the magnet to the customer that was looking for something else, competitors. I'll say, you know what, take this magnet and go look at that coach you were just looking at. It might stick to the microwave or the refrigerator, but it's sure not going to stick to this wood wall where ours does.
Absolutely.
To show people what's inside the walls. That's very, very important. So you'll see Donnie back in this galley area in this particular floor plan. I absolutely love it, as the women do. I mean, it's just they've got their own kitchen area. It's just very unique for a motorhome.
It really is.
I mean, it's just, we got, solid surface countertops, huge pull-out pantry on this side. As we mentioned before, all of the Challengers are now coming with an 18 cubic foot residential reefer, a Whirlpool reefer.
Nice.
18 cubic foot. It's got the built-in ice maker. That also automatically comes with an 1800 watt inverter with auto gen start, which is all controlled right here. So if the batteries do happen to get low, it automatically will start the generator up. The thing I like about the inverter itself, it can be set for either amps or for temperature, which a lot of people don't realize. On the temperature side, a lot of people travel with their pets. I know my wife and I do all the time. And if you happen to have to go somewhere and leave your small animal in the house, and say you're in a hot climate, you can actually program it at, say, 78 degrees.
Okay.
If it gets above that temperature inside the coach, the generator will start up, run the air conditioners, cool the coach down, and then shut itself back off again. It's just
very
unbelievable. I mean, again, if you're at an RV park, that's one thing, you're plugged in, but if you're not, a lot of people like to dry camp. So
sure,
it's just one more feature that is just nice to have. So along with the stainless steel Whirlpool 18 cubic foot refrigerator, we've got a new 30-inch Whirlpool microwave, which is a residential style. And then, as you do on all your coaches, you always put in the cooktop and the oven.
I do.
Because the amount of storage that we have in this coach, a lot of people still like an oven. Convections are nice, but a lot of people still like to bake in the oven itself.
And a coach like this, like I said, you can be entertaining a lot of people. You can have a lot of friends and family over, so sometimes you need more than one place to cook.
Got a place up here for your wine glasses. Again, all solid surface countertops. Got sink covers, stovetop covers, for additional counter space up in here. A great
looking backsplashes.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah, they really did a great job this year.
And
this is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of RVs do not have a place for a wastebasket. So you're handy right here. If you're cooking up here, if you're chopping things, you can just slide everything in. And then when it's time to empty it, you get him off the sofa and you bring that out. There's additional storage back in here. It's also a great place to hide things because nobody even realizes that this is here. No. So there's this little storage area down below there that you can put things in. Again, we use all solid wood cabinet doors, all solid wood drawer fronts, all full extension drawer guides with ball bearings. I mean, it's a house. It's a house on wheels.
Very nice. Love this kitchen area. I mean, this is the big selling feature of this particular floor plan.
I mean, just a ton of outlets. You got a double outlet here, a double outlet on this side, a double outlet up on top up in here. So you got plenty of things for plugging in your coffee pot, your any type of cooking utensils.
And this huge picture window, across from it. As you're spending time in the kitchen, and like I said, you're entertaining, that huge picture window that's there.
Exactly. And again, with the jealousy style windows now, so if it is inclement weather, you can open those up and get good cross ventilation.
Unlike anything else in the industry.
But let's take a walk into the bathroom. I mean, the bedroom and bathroom on this coach is awesome.
This bath is huge inside the 37 GT.
It's like being at home. We have a huge corner shower.
Right.
Right here you have a washer dryer hookup, so you can accommodate either a stack or a combination. See, there's 3 pull-out drawers here. There's adjustable shelving with a hanging rod, so people that don't utilize the washer dryer, they've got a huge closet here. I love it because, back here, which you normally don't find in a motorhome, you have a full-length dressing mirror for her. So when she's back here getting ready, you can see from top to bottom, which you never find in a recreational vehicle.
Very nice.
Dual
and 2
lavatory,
medicine cabinets.
Yeah, dual lavatory sinks, dual cabinets, his and hers, and there's just a ton of storage.
Big glass door shower, but the his and her sinks and medicine cabinets, really smart use of space.
And you got a great way to shut off here. Again, if you've got people traveling with you, you have a partition door there that shuts off your bedroom. So if somebody's sleeping up in the front on the airbed sofa, both of them have access to the bathroom. It's a great floor plan. They put a lot of thought into it, and we can thank our towable division for making this happen for us. So.
And the master bedroom did not get shortchanged either.
Not a bit. I tell you, it's just, again, like you would have at home. Again, you have a private bath. You have a nice wood partition door here that shuts off. So if you do have people staying up in front,
right,
a lot of hanging wardrobe space besides the washer dryer closet. Depending if you're going to use that or not, you've got double wardrobe closets on either side here. 2 more over on this side. A huge chest of drawers down below. Upgraded now to a 29-inch television opposed to the 26 from below. We use a Denver mattress sleep system on all of our motorhomes now, so it's a name brand. They're very comfortable. This also does lift up here, as I was talking about. There's your 2 folding chairs for your dinette area.
Right.
And the extension for the table is
still
located
a tremendous
right
amount
in
of
here.
extra storage, even with the chairs.
Exactly. And as you can see, as we talked about, with that linoleum wraps all the way from front to back. So
absolutely.
Not cutting any corners, trying to edge it up to the sides.
Got a great looking residential style headboard.
Right.
And to touch on the TV again, besides y'all upgrading it, something I really like that y'all do in this floor plan is have the TV centered in the bedroom.
Exactly.
So many floor plans, I don't know why they're off center to the left or to the right, or they'll have them hanging down, kind of where the window is.
Right, exactly.
It's just in the center, you're not looking over anybody one way or another. It just makes a lot of sense.
And didn't shortchange it here because with the new frameless windows, you've got a real nice frameless window with a jealousy window here that you can crank open.
On this particular unit, there's nothing left, but if we want to take a quick look at the dash area, kind of show them around there right quick.
Definitely.
Sounds great.
Okay. A lot of neat things up in this front area. Donnie, have a seat. Again, I love this table. I mean, if we're just sitting here conversing, or again, you can play cards, you can have a cup of coffee, have a cocktail, you can have additional people out in here. It's just a great additional area. But just the dash area itself, we've redone and redesigned the whole dash area as we've always had. We do have the computer station here for her. Got a real nice table, a work area for working on a computer, writing a letter, scrapbooking, whatever she likes to do when you're traveling. It tucks back away.
Very nice.
You're over in the driving compartment there, over on the left-hand side. Everything is very, what I call, ergonomically correct. From that seat, he can reach the hydraulic leveling pad, any of the switches that he needs to cooperate to get to while he's traveling. On the Ford steering wheel itself, you've got your lights and your wipers and everything that you need, so you're not reaching around. You've got cab lights, your generator start up in here, your dash lights, dash fans. Everything is located right in a very
great visibility as well.
Exactly.
Small window pillars.
Yeah. That's what I love about Class A's. I mean, it's just the visibility is so awesome.
The mirror placement is perfect. Like I said, just behind the pillar, so it's none of the view is obstructed.
The new shades in the front now, these are power shades up in the front, so you've got not only your shade screen, but also your privacy curtain that comes down. We talked about the flex steel seats. One of the things I love about them is the adjustments on the end, where you can actually adjust the handles. So for whatever's comfortable, you can set it to your own. It's not just plopped down like your standard seat is, and you deal with what they have. You know, the three-way camera system, like we talked about, it's set on the backup camera right now. It's color, it's LED, so even at nighttime it's going to look just like this right here. Turn signals, when they're turned on, it'll go left side, right side, or you can actually just come up here when you're driving and just touch it and hit the right side camera, hit left side camera. Again, you can go to the backup camera and hit the audio. That's actually behind the motorhome right now, so if she's out there helping you back into a tight area, you can actually hear it through the speaker system.
Nice.
What I like about this, and I always point this out to people, is that to me it's a security system also. I mean, you're traveling in these coaches. You're out touring, you're going to places you've never been before. You find yourself a nice RV park, you make some friends. Well, it's 9 o'clock at night, you're all buttoned up, you got the shades down, you're watching television, and somebody knocks at your door. Well, not knowing where you're at, the last thing you want to do is turn on the porch light and open up the door. So all you do is come up to this seat right here and hit the camera and turn on the right side, and there's your doorway. And there's who's standing at your door. So, hey, it's Joe that we met earlier today. Go ahead and let him in. Hey, we don't know who that is. Call 911, do whatever. But from this seat, with the cameras mounted in the mirrors, I can look around 98% of this motorhome and never open up the door. And with the LED lighting, it could be 12 o'clock midnight without turning on the light. It looks just like that. So to me, it is an awesome security system with this three-way camera system.
It really is.
It's something that people really need to utilize.
Well, Art, it's just, you took an already great coach and y'all just went and decided to make it better.
We're just constantly, I mean, that's one thing I like. They listen. Our company listens, not only to us, the sales reps, but every show, every time I go to a dealership and I talk with people, they give me comments, and I appreciate that because I go back to the hotel at night and I shoot these comments and ideas in. It's the people out there that are using these that know a lot. We have awesome engineers, all college graduates. They know how to put things together. But it's the ideas from our consumers that we really need to hear from. So anything we can do to make it just that little bit better keeps us number one and just keeps us being stronger as number one all the time. So.
Well, you know how much we believe in the product, having over 100 of them on order.
Yes, sir.
We've sold a bunch of these coaches over the last 2 years, and like I said, we just made a much larger commitment, like I said, with this particular product with over 100 of them on order. So, we definitely believe in Thor Motorcoach. The Challenger product in particular is one of our absolute favorites for all the reasons that you showed us today.
Good. So glad I could help out, and we're always available for people to get a hold of us if they have any questions or comments or whatever.
Art, our family really, really appreciate you taking the time. I know our potential future customers appreciate you taking the time and giving them so much insight into the coach. And of course, if they have any additional questions about any of our Thor Motor Coaches, please feel free to give us a call at 1-800-335-6054, or you can visit us online anytime at mhsrv.com. We thank you all for watching, and we all hope to hear from you soon.